Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to a great day of learning. We are your teachers today. I'm Miss Alissa.
And I'm Miss Regenna. We are so glad to be with you today for tons of fun, reading, and knowledge.
I'd like to share our learning goals with you today. We are going to decode 2-syllable words with open syllables and read a new story together. Our focus standards today are RF 2.3, RF 2.4, and RI 2.5.
Miss Alissa, it looks like all those scholars at home are ready to start. What do we have first today?
Let's start with some sounds that we've already learned. In the previous lessons here in the MPB classroom, we've learned 2 new spellings for the A sound. Those spellings were AI, like in made, and AY, like in may.
That's right. We also learned the spelling A silent E for the A sound. Now you know 3 ways to spell the A sound. Let's practice some words with those spellings. Take a look at your screen. Read these words. That's it. Wake. Yes, clay. Strain. Good job.
You guys are expert decoders. Now it's time to add 1 more spelling. It can be a tricky spelling, so let's pay close attention. We can also spell the A sound with just the single vowel A. Since the letter A can be used to represent the short A sound, A, and the long A sound, A, that's why this can be a little tricky. Let's take a look at this word on your screen.
Let's work together to decode this word. When the letter A comes at the end of a syllable, it represents the A sound. Here, A comes after the sound P and is the last sound in that syllable. So it says A. Paper. The word is paper.
Let's practice some more here on our board.
Let's start with these closed syllable words that have the short vowel sound A. Then read the 2-syllable words that have 1 open syllable that has the sound A sound with the letter A.
All right, let's see how we do. Cap. Caper. Good job. Let's keep going. Tack. Taking. Good, we heard that long A sound in taking. Let's keep going. Wag. Good job. Wager. Good job. That one gets a little tricky. What about this word? Back. Good job. And baker. Good. We heard that long A sound spelled with the letter A in baker. You guys are rock stars at that. You now know 4 ways to spell the A sound.
Now, let's do some word chaining to practice our sounds.
That's a great idea. All right. The first one we're going to do is we're going to say the word rain. Say the sounds in rain. R, A, N. Good job. Now let's write the letters that make the sounds. R, A. Good. We're going to do AI in this word. And then N. Good. N. We have rain. Now let's think about what happens if we change rain into brain. Good. We're adding a sound at the beginning. What sound are we adding? B. Good. What letter? B. The word is brain. Now change brain into grain. Good. My very first sound changes again. And to make the G sound, we change the B into I heard it, a G to make grain. Now let's change grain into gain. Ooh, let's say the sounds in gain to make sure. G, A, N. I heard somebody say it. We're actually taking away a sound. We're taking away the R, but we still have just the G sound at the beginning to make it gain. Great. Let's change gain into main. What sound needs to change? Good, my first sound. We're going to change the G into a M. What letter makes the M sound? Good, M. So we have main. All right, Miss Adrena, you got the next ones. Let's keep practicing some word chaining.
Okay, boys and girls, let's try a new one. Let's say we have the word hey. What sounds do we hear in the word hey? Good. We hear A. And what letter makes the sound? H. Right. So we will spell that H, then A would be the A-Y. Let's change the word hey into may. What letter will we need to change? Yes, we would change the H to a M, right? May. Let's change may to way. What will I change this time? Yes, it's still the beginning sound. The beginning sound will change to W. What letter makes the W sound? W. Yes, you're on the ball. Let's say this time we're going to change it to bay. Bay. Yes, I would change the beginning sound again from W to what letter? B. Yes, you're right. Okay, let's try another one. What if I change it to lay? Lay. Yes, the beginning sound will change again from B to what letter says L? Yes, a L. Okay, let me try to trick you with this one. Let's say we have the word lay. I want to change it to clay. Clay. What would I need to do now? Yes, I'm adding a sound. And what letter makes the sound K? The C. Yes, clay. Good job, you guys. One more, then we're going to move on. So we have the word clay. But let's say I want the word slay. Slay. What sound would I need to change? Yes, the beginning sound. The C would change to S, and it's going to be a S. Good job, boys and girls.
Let's keep going. Let's do some more word chaining. I'm going to start with the new word this time. Let's start with the word aid. Aid. I know at the beginning of a word, I'm going to spell the long A sound with A-I. And my last sound was D. Aid. Now help me change aid into paid. Good, I need to add a new beginning sound. What's my beginning sound? P. Good, letter. P. Awesome. Let's change paid into pain. Pain. What sound changed? Good, my ending sound. So I need to get rid of the D. And what letter makes the N sound? Good, N. So now we have pain. Let's do one last one. Change pain into rain. Rain. What sound changed? Yes, my beginning sound. So I'm going to take away the P. What letter makes the R sound? Good, R. So now we have rain. Great job, boys and girls, with your letter chaining. So, since you are becoming such expert decoders, I think it's time that we add that other spelling for the A sound to your decoding toolbox.
Now, let's read a few words with the A sound, spelled A, that are two-syllable words. Remember, one of these syllables will be an open syllable. Take a look at the words on the board.
Let's reveal them.
Okay. Baker, radar, grader, taper.
You knew it. You put your knowledge into practice by reading those words.
Excellent work, scholars. I believe it is now time to move into our read aloud.
I concur, Miss Regina. Friends, and our read aloud today is "And Then There Were Two." This is a continuation from the spelling bee we read in an earlier episode.
How did the spelling bee end?
Yes, Gail and Nathan were the last two contestants in the spelling bee.
In our story today, you will notice below the pictures are captions, words and or phrases which explain what is going on in the photo. Captions will aid in your understanding of a story or text. Let's take a look at our first page.
Great. Read the caption under the first picture in the story with me. Nate Griffin, spelling in the air. How does the caption relate to the photo? Great. We really want to encourage you to look at the photos and captions when we are reading today.
Now, friends, you will see words today that have our A sound spelled the way we have learned. A I, a Y, a silent E, and A. You will also hear some phrases in the text that we want to be sure you know. One of those phrases is in fine form. That simply means to perform well.
You'll also read slip up. That means to make a mistake like we do sometimes.
Yes.
While nailed it means to perform perfectly.
We'll read about a runner-up. That's the person or team who comes in second in a competition. When you read take aim in the text, that means get ready to do something.
Take a shot means that you're going to try to do something. And when you read a good sport, that means to have good manners in a competition.
All right, I think you have all you need to read, scholars. Let's get started. Nate Griffin and Gail Day were the last two spellers in the state spelling bee. Mr. Griffin was spelling like a champ, but Miss Day was in fine form too. Mr. Griffin was given a word to spell. He spelled the word in the air with his fingers, then he spelled it out loud. I noticed the caption on the page as well. Let's read it. Gail Day thinking. Now, let's read the page. Miss Day was next. She was given a 15-letter word to spell. She had to stop and think a bit. Then she spelled it without a problem. That's the way it went. Mr. Griffin spelled a word, then Miss Day spelled one. Griffin Day, Griffin Day, back and forth, back and forth. Remember to read the captions under the photograph. Nate Griffin pondering the spelling of penicillin, and Nate Griffin wincing after misspelling penicillin. Mr. Griffin went word for word and letter for letter with Miss Day for 10 words until at last he was given the word penicillin. He tugged on his lip and shifted from foot to foot. He stood there thinking. Time went by. At last, he took a shot at spelling the word. He spelled it P-E-N-I-C-I-L-I-N. He left out one I. Ding! The bell rang. Mr. Griffin was upset. He clenched his hand and winced. Nate Griffin's slip-up gave Gail Day a shot at winning the spelling bee. She would have to spell penicillin. Then she would have to spell one last word. Miss Day took aim and spelled P-E-N-I-C-I-L-L-I-N. No bell rang. The last word was anesthetic. Miss Day stood thinking. Then she spelled A-N-E-S-T-H-E-T-I-C. Nate Griffin slip up gave Gail Day a shot at winning the spelling bee. She would have to spell penicillin. Then she would have to spell one last word. The caption says that Gail Day smiles with her prize. Let's read the rest of the text. No bell rang. Gail Day was the winner. Mr. Griffin was the runner-up, just as he was the last bee. You could see that he was let down by the loss, but he was a good sport. He went up to Miss Day, shook her hand, and gave her a hug. Then Gail Day stood on the stage by herself. They gave her a prize. They gave her a check for $500. She slipped the check in her pocket and held up the prize. She was the queen of the bee.
Amazing. Scholars, you did such a good job practicing all of those sounds and words and putting those words together to read the sentences. You are readers.
We are so proud of you. Now that you have read the text with us, let's see what all you can remember about it.
Yes, so we're going to ask you some questions about the story. Remember to answer the questions in a complete sentence. Here's your first one. Who is the queen of the bee? There you go. Gail Day is the queen of the bee.
Was Nate Griffin a good sport when he lost? According to the story, yes, Nate Griffin was a good sport.
What are some ways of being a good sport? Of course, shaking hands and congratulating someone are some ways of being a good sport.
What did Gail Day win as a prize? Gail Day won $500 as a prize. Woo, Miss Alissa, I can think of several things I can do with $500.
Ooh, me too. So, what are some things that you would do, scholars, if you won a spelling bee and received $500?
Interesting thoughts and ideas. Now, before we leave our story, we would like you to generate or come up with a question from the story. For example, I could ask, how did Gail win $500? Notice my question started with a question word. How? My answer would be Gail won $500 because she won the spelling bee.
Now it's your turn. We want you to generate a question that begins with a different question word, though. We want your question to begin with the word what.
I hear some of those questions. They are good.
Yes, I heard someone ask, what else did Gail get for winning the spelling bee? That's a great question. We know from the photograph that she also received a trophy.
I heard a scholar ask, what word did Nate misspell? That's a good question. We know from the text and the caption under his wincing photograph that he misspelled the word penicillin.
That's a really interesting word, Miss Regina. Wincing, too. Friends, we read in our text that Nate winced after he misspelled penicillin.
He certainly did. Have you ever winced before, Miss Alissa?
I have. I had a toothache just a few months ago, actually. And when I bit down on a peanut with that tooth, ooh, that was giving me some trouble. I winced.
Ouch. I bet that was painful. So wincing is a facial expression we make when something is painful or maybe even difficult.
True. Nate didn't actually feel any physical pain like I did with my toothache, but he was hurt that he had misspelled his word during the spelling bee. His hurt was an inside feeling.
Great point. Scholars, think of a time when you winced. What caused you to wince?
Ooh, man, those were some tough situations. It's hard not to wince just hearing them.
Right.
I heard one scholar say that they winced when they fell down and skinned their knee.
Whew, painful. I heard another friend say they winced when they were shooting a three-pointer and the basketball missed the basket.
Ooh, that's also painful. Friends, what word have we been talking about?
That's it, winced or wincing.
Wow, you all have made some great progress today. You've learned a new spelling for the long A sound. You read the follow-up to our spelling bee story, and we've had some in-depth conversations about wincing.
Way to go. Now, before we part ways today, let's think about the story we read about Gail and Nate in the spelling bee. If you were going to tell about the story in one sentence to someone who had not read it, what would you say?
Those are some great thoughts. Let's write one sentence down. Do you have a pencil and paper close by? Go ahead and grab it, and while you're getting those supplies, let's make sure you remember how to make a good, complete sentence.
A sentence always begins with a capital letter. A sentence always ends with a punctuation mark.
These are some great reminders. A sentence also has to make sense. It has to have a subject and a verb. The subject is who or what the sentence is about, and the verb tells what the subject does. All right, now that you have your paper and pencil, let's get going.
We heard several sentences about our story a while ago. Let's write one. Gail and Nate competed in a spelling bee, and Gail was the winner.
Whew, that's a long one, Miss Regenna, but let's write it. So this is going to be a compound sentence, so we'll need to be sure to put a comma before and. So let's write it, and you can watch me write it on my board. So, again, the sentence was Gail and Nate competed in a spelling bee, and Gail was the winner. Gail and Nate competed. Good, we have that ED at the end. In a spelling bee. Good, that's going to be two E's. And Gail was the winner. Great job, everybody. You did such a fabulous job writing that sentence. So, we know we had to put an exclamation point at the end because we wanted to say that sentence in an excited way. So make sure you also have an exclamation point. Great work, scholars.
Friends, you are amazing. You are readers and sentence writers. You scholars are a success.
That's right. So make sure that you're continuing to write some sentences at home. So this was such a great, incredible day of learning, and we hope that you can share something you learned about today with someone at home.
Absolutely. The more you correctly practice your sounds, words, and reading, the smarter you will become. We are so proud of you, friends.
Yes, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks for doing your best. All rights and credits for today's lesson belong to Core Knowledge Language Arts. We would like to thank them for publicly sharing these valuable resources. The views and opinions expressed in this lesson are those of the Core Knowledge authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Mississippi Department of Education. Thank you for joining us today, boys and girls. We will see you next time.